So, y'all, this is so funny that this song is on because I wanted to share a little story with you. And it's not really a story, it's just me kind of just dealing with some truths about my life, but it's not really major. I mean, it's like, it's life and it's like things that people go through. But it's like, it sucks to be, like, for me, I really believe that I am a smart person, but I have made some bad choices in my life, like a lot of us have. But and a lot of the times I sit in a regretful space, because we always grow up or have these ideas of ourselves and visions of what we'd like to see when we get older, how we would want our lives to go, how our lives look, you know. And part of my idea and my, you know, when I looked into the looking glass when I was younger, I wanted to be single, no dependence, like really like single, no dependence, like not divorced, not widowed, single, like never married. I wanted to not have children. So, you know, like we always say, you know, the saying goes, I don't say we always say, but the saying goes, when we make plans, God laughs. And it's like, I already have your life out for you. Just make these decisions on the way. And, you know, fate and destiny and, you know, how life turns out. So I used to reside in a place of lack and pity party. I used to have a lot of pity parties. I think I get that from my grandmother. But I used to have a lot of little pity parties and stuff, feeling sorry for myself about the choices that I made and predicaments that I've been in. But one of the mistakes that I made, that just recently decided that, you know what, I'm no longer going to decide for that to be regretful. And it's funny because it was my biggest regret. I call it my biggest regret. My biggest mistake was my child's father. That was a mistake, like from the gate and the duration of the relationship. It was a mistake. Unfortunately and fortunately, you know, there are children that were produced out of that relationship. And, you know, you got to pay child support. We're not together. I had them like 18 months apart. Okay. I'm, again, somebody who never wanted to have kids. Just like I moved to Atlanta and got swept up and was like, I think because I didn't have a real strong support system, and I'm not blaming that. No, it's not to blame, but it is a contributing factor, that because I feel like if I didn't have a good support system, I was in a different state, no family, no friends. I moved there with a friend who turned out not to be a friend. Another friend that I'd known from, you know, partying when I was in my mid 20s, she lived there, and, you know, that relationship ended up dissolving, but I think we're cool now because it's all like whatever. But he was abusive, verbally abusive, physically abusive, emotionally abusive. He was only physically abusive one time, but there was like a push, and then he ended up hitting me with a closed fist. Now, at the time, I was 5'5", 190 pounds. Yes, and he is 6'4", almost 300 pounds. Now, you will say that I am a big girl by our standards, but that's a big nigga. You feel me? And you know how, I don't know. It was just a really bad like relationship, a really bad several chapters in my life, and we just don't get along. I, really don't know. He was like living like a double life and ended up going to jail right after I found out I was pregnant, and was doing something illegal, ended up in the feds for like a year. So I was like, okay, only reason, now you gonna say, Erica, you crazy. The only reason why I waited, it was because it was a year. I just found out I was pregnant. I had no family. So this is the mistake. This is the exact mistake that I made. I waited. But while I waited for him, I did the things that I came to Atlanta to do, and that was to purchase a home. He was mad about that because I wouldn't put his... Now, that's one thing I did not do. I didn't put his motherfucking name on my goddamn house. So I wasn't that damn crazy, okay? So, you know, he was abusive. He started getting verbally abusive while I was in prison. He's not the best looking guy. He's not a bad looking guy, but he used to be really, really fat. I met him when he had lost a bunch of weight. So I think he was still insecure. And so even like he was just like verbally abusive. And then 7 days, he came home. Then I got pregnant with the second son, and that was 18 months. So you know how long he was gone from the time I was pregnant to the time he came back. They're 18 months apart. So 7 days, and I had my son, because when he came back, he just started really acting very mean and jealous and competitive and just typical toxic nigga shit, just the typical shit. And it's like this whole time I really didn't have any support. You know, that's the reason why I fell out with my mom and my dad and my brothers, because, you know, after all the shit that I had gone through, my dad ended up, you know, organizing this summer trip where they could stay the whole summer with him. My dad lied to me and said that they were going to spend the summer with him and 2 weeks with their dad. That was the agreement. But my dad somehow sympathized with him, saying he knew what it felt like to be a father and not see his children. And to my knowledge, my mother never kept me from my dad. And I don't know if my other brothers and sisters were kept, if my other brother and sisters were kept from my dad. So I don't know where the empathy came from, that he empathized with my abuser. So me and my father are done. So, and when he came home, he started acting, you know, I got pregnant, and then I was stressed out because I was like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? I was like, because I had some, you know, like, you have a time in your life where you're not like aware of what's going on, but then there's a little part of you, like your subconscious, that says, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? Always that little voice. But what happened was I was pregnant and I was stressed out, and I ended up having my son at 29 weeks. You know, 40 weeks is a full-term baby. I had him at 29 weeks on January 23rd and January 30th. Mind you, with my son still in the hospital, I was done. I was like, you know what? You got to go. You got to get out. You have to go. And he didn't want to give me the key. He wouldn't give me the key. When I went to grab for the key, he hit me in the face. Now, I just had a baby 7 days ago. Okay? So it's not funny, but I'm to the point where it's like, there's no reason to get mad, because this is things that happen. And unfortunately, it happened to me. My father at one point told me, who are you to think that you're exempt from having a issue like this? What did he say? He said, you're not exempt from going through something like this. Basically, like, this is your life, you know? And it was mimicking, oddly enough, I don't know if you guys watch This Is Us, and you see how Sicilic family issues and things go in the family, and how you end up like your mother and you end up like your father. All of that stuff is what I was like. I was visualizing that. I was like, oh no, I'm not about to do this. My aunts, my cousin, my grandmother, this is all on my dad's side. They stayed with their men despite the issues and trials and tribulations. They all stayed with their men. And I was like, I'm not about to do this. So I was like, you gotta go. It was 7 days after having my son. I was like, fuck it, I'm just about to be a single mother. Another fucking statistic. I was really like beating myself up about it. But I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to fucking do this. And I was mad at him for being the contributor to changing my fucking life path. But I believe that 4 times in your lifetime, your life path changes. I really, truly believe that. It's one decision that changes the course of your life. And I believe that happens 4 times in a lifetime, in a person's lifetime. But anyway, so he came home, started acting a fool, kicked him out. It was to the point he wouldn't fix anything in the house because his name wasn't on the house. But I knew, like I said, it's something in you. You know, I'm not putting your name on this house. Are you crazy? I knew that much. And the day that we decided we were going to be in committed relationship, I said, this is not going to last. This is going to last for about 5 years. And it lasted 3. I had 2 babies, 18 months apart, and he was out of there. And we just don't get along. I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Cynthia. I don't know you. I don't know you. And so I'm resentful. He used to break it. He broke in my house, stole my ring, stole some other shit, destroyed some of my stuff. He would destroy shit in my house and put it back. For instance, I had a plaque. I worked in the record industry, and I had a plaque for working on Eminem's project, and he destroyed it. It was a custom-made plaque, and he destroyed it, took my name off of it, took the artwork off of the plaque, and then put everything back into the box that it was in, because I didn't have it on the wall. I had it, in the box that it came in. And I found it one day, and I flipped my lid, because it was something that I worked hard for, and it was something to show, my appreciation for me working on a project. Let me fast forward. I could go on. I could write a motherfucking story. I could write a goddamn book about my experience with that man. And it was just the most awful experience, and I resent him. Anyways, child support. Child support payment is less than $300. Yes. So I'm like, okay. But it's the principle behind the thing. You know what I'm saying? So I get a notification. I'm fast forward to everything. Throughout this time on YouTube, I will share the complete story. I'll probably do it in a live. I don't know. But I'm like past it. I'm to the point where I'm just like, whatever. It's like, whatever. It's like, this is fucking life. Either you're going to regret the decisions that you made and live in that regret, or you're just going to be like, okay, this was a lesson. Don't fucking ever do this again, and be able to recognize it when it starts to happen again, because we travel in circles. So if you ever look at Facebook on this day, like you go to on this day today, something that you talked about 3 days ago will be something that you posted a year ago or 2 years ago. You see, life is it runs in circles. So you end up repeating some things, and if you're not careful and you're not self-aware enough, you will repeat patterns over and over and over again. But I get a notification, and this is the real reason by this video, because I'm just like, I gotta document this shit, because this is fucking crazy. I get a notification that says the youngest son's child support is going to be terminated for the rest of his life until he turns 18, like his minority, so until 18, it's been terminated because they determined that he doesn't have enough assets. I said, how do you determine a motherfucker ain't gonna have any assets for another 10 years? And quiet as it's kept, nigga, all you pay is $142 for one kid. And it's just the principle, because a lot of mothers, a lot of women do not need the child support payment. Some do, but some do not. And because they are more accomplished than their partner that they chose to have a baby with. And I know I'm less like, it's stupid. Just like, I don't know. It's a trip. It's a principle, because a lot of the times the women are more accomplished than the men that they have babies from, and that they're going through these child support issues with and stuff. Why are women so aggressive driving? I don't get that, and the shit is aggravating to me. Anyway, but that is like, it's so crazy to me, and I was like about to be angry about it, like, okay, his child support is terminated for the rest of the little one, the rest of his minority. So you have foreseen 10 years in the future that you can afford $142.50 a month. Nigga, I don't know. I'm not editing this video. It's not going to be edited. I'm not editing nothing out. My ums, my you're just going to have to hear it. And this is just life, all right? I'm at my job. I really just wanted to share this story so I could document it, because I have a feeling motherfuckers watch my YouTube channel who don't have any motherfucking business watching my YouTube channel. So there you go. It's documented. And I will tell my whole story. I will tell the whole story. I will write about it. I will have it documented. You know, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. And you know, you might want to say, is he involved in the boy's life? No, he's not. And then he tried to get on me saying I don't allow them to see him. And I said, we live in two different states. I live in California. You live in Georgia. If you want to see them, you can come out here, or you can pay for their tickets and we'll travel out there. Well, I don't want to see them for just 2 weeks. Well, then you don't want to see them then. You don't FaceTime. All of this technology you don't use as a resource to see or speak to your children. My oldest son, unfortunately, he's 10. He'll be 11 in July. He's like, I really don't know him. He's another one like Cynthia. I really don't know him, so it's not a big deal if he doesn't call me or talk to me. And it's sad. And you know, we'll work it out. You know, I mean, but this is the story, right? This is a story. We've heard it how many times? I'm not the first, and I'm definitely and unfortunately not going to be the last. We all make mistakes, and we just can't live in regret the decisions we make. We just have to learn how to learn from those decisions and not repeat, and make promises to ourselves not to repeat those. So that's all. I just wanted to share that. $142. Let me call the child support people right now. No, I'm just playing. All right, y'all. Take care of each other.